I remember one time actually we lost to Barrie like 15-0. I think it's got to be the highest margin of OHL loss ever. And Jim Halton came back, and I remember because we were playing and we're trying not to. This is a good story. We're trying not to be the worst team in the history of the OHL. So London Knights hold that honor, and they had 66 games and they went 363 or 360-3. And so we were playing Barrie. They were real good. They had Sheldon Keefe and Jefferson, all those guys. And Jim Halton goes to me, goes, "You're not playing tonight. You're supposed to start, but we play St. Mike's tomorrow, and we have a better chance of beating St. Mike's than we do against these guys. You're in tomorrow." So I went to but then he goes, "But you got to tell your goalie partner, Josh Evans." So I was like, "Well, why do I got to tell him?" So yeah. I go and tell him, and Josh Evans looked at me. He's like, I'm not playing. You're playing." I said, "No, you're in. And we were down. I remember, man, we were down like 8-0 going into the third period, and we're sitting in Barrie at the Labatt or Molson Center, whatever it's called, and it's really tight benches, right? So there's glass, and you're there, and then the trainer's like right beside you, and then there's the walkway. Right at the beginning of the period, we're down 8-0. Daniel Tkachuk, his name was. He was a first rounder in Calgary. He scores a goal and makes it 9-0. Place goes nuts. We want 10. We want 10. Jimmy Halton's yelling at the end of the bench, "Foley, you're in!" And I'm just like this, dead stare, deadpan, looking forward, just like this. The trainer is literally hitting me with his elbow on my face. He's like, "Foles." I'm like, I hear him. Shut up. And he's just like, "You're Foles." I'm like, I look over, and he's like, "You're in!" And I'm just like, "Yeah, okay, thanks. I hear you." So I step on the ice, right? And I'm just like taking my sweet time and getting in there. Check this out. I go in there. Again, stop the first one. I'm like, all right, here we go. We're going to be okay. I'm going to stop the bleeding. I give up 6. I give up 6 goals in 17 minutes. Honestly, boys, I'm not kidding you. True story. I get off the ice, and I actually said to myself, I actually felt really good. It just, nothing hit me. Like, it would bounce off like a defenseman, or like I'd make a great glove save, but I wouldn't catch it. It would bounce, and someone would hit it, and like, it was just not very good night, but I felt good. So after the game, we're on the back of the bus, and Jimmy Halton comes over, and he goes, "Boys, if we win tomorrow night, no one's going to talk about this loss. Trust me." And we're playing St. Mike's at the Gardens, and and I'm going in as they planned, and I go in. I give up the first shot and goal. 17:58 to go in the first period. We're down 1-0, and I'm like, oh boy, this is not going to be a good night. And it ended up being the greatest night that I've actually had, probably outside of the Belleville game. We end up winning 2-1. And we end up not being the worst team in OHL history because we won on the 63rd game or whatever it was. And it was a real special night. So just to look up and you see the like Johnny Bauer and Terry Sawchuk and Turk Broda and all those retired jerseys, and I was having a night, right? And it was one of those days and afternoon at the Gardens, and we end up winning 2-1. And he was right. Nobody cared about the 15-0 loss. Everyone just talked about the 60 save performance by myself, but the win by the Ice Dogs. So it was good, man. The lessons that you learn, you kind of carry them forward, just to be a good person. Don't quit, resiliency, showing up every day, having enthusiasm. These things matter. And these are a lot of the lessons I learned in the OHL.